With Fat 45 testing positive for the COVID-19, what could it mean for the markets? Fat 45's shocking positive test result for COVID-19. It's not really shocking because he basically ignored all the experts and everything. But it's just with Fat 45's not shocking positive test result for COVID-19 could impact the U.S. stock market in the weeks ahead if the Fat Ass's condition worsens or it influences the November election. The market impact on Friday, however, was surprisingly muted. The S&P 500 index closed the day down by 1%, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average was off by about 0.5%. This suggests investors are not focusing on a dire outcome in which the fat ass will have to turn over powers to another dumbass, the Vice President Pence. It remains to be seen whether the markets will stay this calm following the close on Friday. Fat 45 was taken to Walter Reed Hospital for observation, and the press reports indicate that he's experiencing what they call some ill effects of the COVID-19. I think it's more serious than that. Beyond concerns about the fat ass's health, investors at some point will consider the political ramifications of what has transpired. According to the Washington Post, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi believes that the fat ass's condition may facilitate passage of a bipartisan economic relief deal to restore key provisions of the CARES Act that expired in July. Pelosi's statement helped the stock market recover from news about Fat 45, and confirmation of a deal would give it an added boost. Until recently, there was a wide gap between congressional Democrats who favored a $3 trillion spending package and the Republicans who sought a skinny bill of about $1 trillion. This week, however, the gap narrowed as Democrats recrafted a $2.2 trillion package, while the House upped its offer to closer to $1.6 trillion. On Friday, Pelosi said on MSNBC that this kind of changes the dynamic because here they see the reality of what we have been saying all along. This is a vicious virus. Assuming the fat ass is fully recovered in the next 10 to 14 days, he will only have a couple of weeks left to campaign actively for re-election, and this will make it more difficult for him to narrow the gap in national polls that showed Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden ahead by an average of 7 to 8 points. Fat 45's inbred supporters hope his illness will help to gain sympathy for him with the electorate after he was criticized by many for being overly aggressive in the first presidential debate. I'm not gonna sympathize with him. So, yet what has happened to him leaves Fat 45 even more vulnerable to charges that he had mishandled the pandemic by downplaying its potential impact. Recent polling suggests it is seen as the most vulnerable issue for the fat ass by 2/3 of the U.S. electorate. The big unknown at this juncture is how Fat 45 will react once he has recovered. If he does at all, which he probably won't. But will the experience make him appeal humbler? No, as it did for British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. And will he now tell the American public it is imperative to wear face masks and practice social distancing? No. Or or will Fat 45 react like the Brazilian president and become more emboldened that COVID-19 is not as dangerous as many assert? For his part, former Vice President Joe Biden has taken the high road, saying that Fat 45's positive test is a bracing reminder of the seriousness of the pandemic. In a speech to Michigan voters on Friday, he said, "We have to take this virus seriously. It's not going to go away automatically." One issue that Fat 45 would not give ground on, even if the coronavirus pandemic persists, is in his determination to keep businesses open and to reopen schools. He has not wavered from his view that the cure cannot be worse than the problem itself. Fat 45's handling of the economy continues to be the main issue, where he has been more favorable, has a more favorable rating than Biden. I don't even see how that's possible, but And he attacked Biden in the debate for wanting to shutter the economy. That's not what he said and not what he wanted. Biden countered that a sustained recovery hinges on bringing the pandemic under control. With the election now just 1 month away, the pace of recovery slowed in September, in part because the CARES Act lapsed at the end of July. Moreover, this is now a more growing concern that a second wave of COVID-19 could appear in months ahead, with the number of U.S. cases increasing after Labor Day and colder weather approaching. As voters head to the polls on November 3rd, therefore, the key issue weighing on them likely will be, are you better off and safer today than you were 4 years ago? Which I'm not, but if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Random Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you may be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.